Alrighty, folks, we are about to kick off ticket sales to year 4 of One Rental at a Time. I have personally been working on making the VIP experience legendary. I actually expect the VIP sessions to sell out. We can hit on that in a minute. But the session I frankly am most looking forward to is one that I am entirely funding. And I'm envisioning having 50 teenagers at this event, which are for free. They do not need to buy a ticket. You will need to let me know they're coming so that I can control headcount. So that's on the parents to let me know that they're coming. But we are going to run a session that Cody Davis will be championing. And I thought we should kind of articulate, tease what's coming, and get some people excited about it. Cody, what do you think?
I'm pretty excited for it. And again, we've talked about this in the past, but the next generation is how One Rental at a Time really lives on. Their success is going to be everything moving forward. So it's very exciting. It's cool that you're putting on, and it's cool that you're sponsoring them for free, but more so on the actual event. I think the number one thing anybody can get as a takeaway when they're young is figuring out what they want. If you don't know what you want, you're not going to get it. It's not going to happen by chance. And so really figuring that out. And so the idea of putting together a vision board and then talking about that one day, let's build it. The next day, actually talking about what does it cost? What's a buy box? How could we create a business that could pay for this so that I don't have to work forever to achieve this? And so we're really taking it from, I don't know what I want, to I know what I want, to what's it cost? What do I have to do to get that? And we're going to go full cycle through that. So that is a piece that I'm very excited about.
Yeah, for me, the most exciting part is that day 2, probably morning of day 2, is where you kind of translate into what it costs. I think a lot of teenagers, I can only speak to my experience, right? I knew I wanted it, like, I don't know, whether I like it or not. I saw Magnum PI. Yes, I'm that old, and a red Ferrari, Rolex watch. It was very much a materialistic wants because I didn't have anything, right? We were broke and just poor. And I saw these things on TV, and whatever reason, I thought they were the thing for success. I had no idea what they cost. So the fact that we're going to have a vision board and exercise and then get to what it costs is eye opening. And then the closer that you're going to do is, how do you get there? Because that's the magic of the wealth formula is, step 1, create disposable income. Step 2, become a lead at something. And if you could think about that at 13 or 15, or take a passion and turn it into a business, man, you'll be financially free before you're 30 in all likelihood. That's exciting to think about.
Yeah. And it's the subtle things that are going to get woven into that conversation, right? Because if I just structure it as a lecture, nobody's going to have fun. So my goal is to weave in bartering. How do you actually trade things without having money? Like I don't give Zuber money. How do I trade him something for something that he has that I have, and move forward for both of us? Like, we're going to talk about that, talk about identifying where opportunities are to get a little closer to our goal. I like to think about moving the ball down the field, a soccer reference, right? You get a little closer to the goal, eventually you can shoot. And communication. The biggest problem I had as a kid was communication. I was afraid. I had ideas and I didn't know, and I didn't want to communicate with people because I was just afraid of the interaction. I really want to help break through that. And so that's going to be my job, figuring out how to best navigate that conversation. But we're going to be identifying what people want, and then what's it going to cost? How can we get there? And weaving in those little bits of, I guess, life lessons and skill sets that they can achieve at a young age should help them get there.
Yeah, as somebody who's gone to a lot of schooling, college, undergrad, graduate school, it is still remarkable for me to say and mean that the most valuable class I took was junior college. Shout out Deanza. And it was public speaking, because whether, I may look very comfortable now on YouTube and, ability to hold conversations, but that's not who I was as a teenager. I was not a social butterfly. I was comfortable being in a room and not saying a word. And frankly, I probably preferred that. So again, I think helping people see the power in communication. And that's why I like your bartering idea, because you can't barter unless you can communicate. And you're not just going to like wave something around and barter. So let's give people kind of the agenda, because we do have space that we have to move around at the Blind Center. Shout out the Blind Center year 4. What we're gonna let you take over basically the lunchroom for general admission. And general admission lunch will either be 12 to 2 or 12:30 to 2:30. I haven't worked out the agenda entirely yet. Let's just assume it's 12 to 2. What I'm thinking is you get 4 2-hour blocks to run your play, right? So the teenagers are with us in the morning when we open. We kind of set the agenda. Then they go off at 9 o'clock. Then you run your first session 9 to 11. Then we clean up. We let them set for lunch. They clear for lunch, and then you guys go back there kind of like 2:30 to 4:30. And then they come back for kind of the wrap up at 5. And again, I think that's the agenda for both days. So you think you can execute your play or your vision on 4 2-hour blocks?
It's basically a school day.
That's true.
Yeah, and I'm going to have to identify a few key pieces that I want to really hit home on. But my first initial thoughts, you got to go through introductions, and not just introductions like, hey, this is who I am. I want to share a little bit about where I've come from, give a little bit of a perspective. Mm-hmm. And then I think we'll go through the room just briefly, whether it's everybody's talking to everybody, or we do, if there's 50 people, maybe it's 10 groups of 5, get acquainted, and then shuffle.
Mm-hmm.
But in addition,
you got to be careful, because that could eat up an hour, right?
Yeah, you're right. And so maybe it's just on a piece of paper. We spend 5 minutes, 10 minutes, write down who we are and what we want. Because I did this little drill when I was getting started. It's called the circle drill. Mm-hmm. I took this away from an online training that got like no views from Grant Cardone, one of the old ones. But you basically put yourself in the center, and it's your universe, it's you, and then you map out all the different things and talk about what you want. And I think we can save that piece of paper to actually do the vision board. I think that's going to directly tie into what we do later.
Yeah. Because again, it's, the Blind Center is an amazing space, but there are limitations, especially since we're using one of the big rooms for podcasts, because we're doing live podcast sessions now. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So again, when I think about the teenagers kind of coming to the session, they're going to be, most of them are going to be like, why the hell am I here? Right? They're going to feel like an odd duck, is my guess. Some of them came last year. I think we had 35 or 37 teenagers last year. My hope is half of those come back. We'll see. So they're going to kind of know what they expect. And then it's really going to be about, what do you want? How much does it cost? And how you can go get it. And then when I think about the overall theme of the event, including the main stage, for everybody, it's always about making people understand it's possible, because I truly believe wealth starts in the mind. Like, if you don't believe it's possible, Cody, we can't help them. Absolutely. If they have a mindset that's closed and like, I can't do it because I'm a girl, or I'm brown, or I'm too old. I mean, I hear them all the time. And if we can't get past those beliefs, I can't help anybody. So that's what I want you to anchor on, because I have to anchor on that for the main stage as well, is every speech, every little woven thing that I try to get through at the event is about making sure people believe.
Yeah, opportunities out there. And I think the younger generations just have an innate ability to see them if they're looking.
Yes.
The difference is if you find it, because that's how I got all my deals. Most of my stuff was in plain sight. It was on the MLS. It was out there. And it just came down to creativity. And again, it's that communication piece. There's a lot of people who see ideas. They see it, and then they don't say anything. They don't do anything because they're afraid of looking stupid or asking a stupid question. And I've heard stupid questions, but I've never heard the same stupid question twice in a row. The person learned it and they got better.
Amen. It's funny we bring this up, because I'm also working on my Bigger Pockets presentation. I think it's in November, maybe October. I don't know, one of those months. Anyways, in Orlando. And it's titled From One Rental to Financial Freedom. And again, back to the idea of creating belief. Right now, it's very raw at the moment, very rough draft. But one of my slides, it says, I wish I could bring it up because I'm sharing my screen. I can't right now. It says 9th grade dropout. single parent, 260K in debt, living in a big house, it started at 18, right? So it got like 8 of these. And then obviously that slide's going to build and going to go lumberjack landlord, Dion, Cody, Anna, Casey, like all of these people that are part of our community. Because I want people in the audience to realize that people in much worse situations were able to do it. So stop your whining, right? How many of you are 9th grade dropouts, right? How many of you have 3 kids making $17 an hour and are 262,000 in debt? Oh, that's not you? Good. Shut up. Keep going, right? I'm trying to, like, how many of you are 18 years old and can barely sign a contract? Well, there's this guy named Cody Davis. He figured it out, right? So that's one of the things that I'm trying to work into my Bigger Pockets presentation is just real life examples. So people can basically say, if they can do it, I could do it.
Yeah, it's possible. It's kind of like what we talked about last week, how I prompted my ChatGPT, my AI platform, to basically go off of the Rich Dad Poor Dad philosophy. How could I do it? And it's not a matter of if I can or can't. Find a way find a way to make it happen. And it's a solution-oriented individual rather than a problem-oriented individual. There's people out there, older and younger, that live where everything is a problem. Everything is always an issue. And then there's other people that see opportunity with that. I heard this saying when I was getting started. There's difficulty with every opportunity, and there's opportunity in every difficulty. And you have to be able to go through life and say, do I want to look at the problems or do I want to look at the solution? Because one person will be happier than the other at the end of the day.
I don't know if you've ever read this book, but I'm going to ask you anyway. I think the book title is Set for Life. It's by the former CEO of Bigger Pockets, Scott Trench. Have you ever read that book or seen that book?
No, I haven't.
I might ask you to pick one of those up because I know Scott and I might go buy a couple of hundred and get them autographed.
Wow.
And then have them be giveaways. But I would want you to at least peruse or look at the outline or whatever that is. Again, I think it's called Set for Life from Scott Trench, because I'd love to find a way to give them something they could take after the event. And I think an autograph copy from Scott would be really cool. He's coming to the event, so he could even, come in and help or be, there for Q&A or something.
Yeah, I actually just looked it up. So I have it in my browser.
It's a blue book, right? It's a blue book or light blue?
It is a blue book. Yep.
Okay, good. I'm making sure I'm thinking of the right one in my head. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So I think that might be a good giveaway. Again, I'm paying for all of this. Because again, feeding them all of this, the 50 teenagers are probably going to cost me almost 50 grand, probably 40 grand. But that's important to me as you open, right? I haven't changed my vision for the legacy, and that is to make sure that the next generation says Mike Zuber or one rental at a time after I'm dead and gone. So this is how we do that.
And to take it a step further, you're doing exactly what we're going to be talking to the teenagers about. Figure out what your goal is, figure out what it costs, and then figure out how you're going to pay for it. Mm-hmm. You've built a business that allows you to pay for your goals, whether you work or not. And that's exactly what they're going to be encouraged to figure out.
So here's the deal, folks. I only have space for 50. 50 is cap. It is a hard cap. I suspect if we get 50, 40 will show up. That's just how the math usually works. But I will be prepared for all 50 if they do show. But I will not do more than that, right? I need to make sure the rest of the room is there with adults paying, so I have the margin to pay for the kids. So if you want your kids to come, you need to let me or Cody know, because we'll get name badges and all of that generated. They do not need to buy tickets. The other thing to point out is the kids will get the same ticket level as the parents. So if the parents buy VIP, the kids get VIP. If the parents buy general admission, the kid gets general admission. Why is that important? I am doing really cool things for VIP. Most importantly, Q&A. Live Q&A will not be done in the general session, which is too hard to control timelines and all of that. We are setting up 4 hours, or one hour at lunch, 1 hour at close, 1 hour at lunch, 1 hour at close for Q&A for VIP only. As I said earlier, we are running a live podcast. So think about a live audience. We will publish at least half the podcast ahead of time. So VIP gets first right of refusal. If you want to go be a part of the audience, you'll be able to do that. And then if VIP doesn't fill it up, GA can, of course. And then, of course, we'll have some giveaways. I've already got some stuff lined up. And let's just say VIP has been completely revamped this year. So, yeah, you might want to. I think VIP might sell out in my school community, but we'll see. It's going to be fun.
Yep. I imagine it will.
Yes, nice. Well, what I know you and your wife's going to help you with this, right? We're going to get her there as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll both be there, both be present for all these sessions, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I imagine she's going to want to do a podcast with Olivia.
Okay. We can make that happen.
I have a feeling that will be on the agenda.
Nice. We'll see if we'll get Olivia to say yes. That'd be good. I was just thinking, and I don't know, I just want to put this out there. I am wondering if there's going to be one or two brave teenagers who at the end of day 2 are comfortable getting up on the main stage and kind of sharing their takeaways. Do you think I should allocate 20 or 30 minutes to see if that happens?
If you do, I will find a way to make it happen.
Okay.
Because I bet you we could. I'm pretty confident we could get a good message across where at least, let's put it at 3 people go up.
Even if, again, we could get really creative. They could do a talk, which maybe they're not going to be cool with, or they can just get up there on chairs and you can ask them questions, which is probably easier for them to respond.
And since we have time, right, we have a few months, something that might be proposed to the audience here on YouTube is if you could have your kids get one big takeaway outside of what we've already discussed, what would it be?
There you go. Yeah.
Because we can structure this. We have time, right?
No, we have roughly 5 months just to put it in context, roughly 5 months. Whew. All right. This should be fun. All right. So yeah, if you have something you'd love to see, again, so if we go back to questions I got last year, hey, if I got an 11 or 12-year-old, can I bring them? Here's the answer. If they're really going to be engaged, and because they're going to be around 17-year-olds as well, if they're going to be engaged in part of this, of course, there's no hard rule around 13. Also, I think I was asked last year, what happens if my kid's 19 or 20? Here's the deal. You understand what I'm trying to do. If it's important for them to come and you don't want to spend the $300 on a ticket, by all means, go for it. It's not no skin off my nose. But, if your kid's 27, come on, buy a ticket. There's got to be something in that. But those are things I was asked last year. Again, they don't need to buy a ticket. You have to let me know. I'll get the list to Cody so he has a list and we can do name badges and all of that. But yeah, I'm starting to look forward to this. I got to create the Eventbrite later this week. I'm going to put it on sale, I think, on the 24th in our community. Oh my God, that's 4 days away. I'm so behind. Okay, I got work to do.
You'll make it happen.
Yeah. Just nothing like doing it late at night one evening. So it'll be fun. Cody, any thoughts, wisdom, anything that I should be thinking about to help you?
No, I think if the audience has any key takeaways, because the thing is, whatever you're looking for is what you're going to find typically. Mm-hmm. And so if we have people that put out ideas that they wish their kids could get a takeaway on, mm-hmm. It's not just going to be, we're instilling our perspective and they're going to have our perspective. That's not the goal. But if it's, maybe they want to have their kids understand that even though it's scary, it's worth doing. And so it's like getting up and saying something. And maybe that could be a key takeaway, because I wish I knew that sooner. It could be, I just wish they understood why math works the way it does, or how a community or being part of a community can really help you in the long term, whatever it may be. I think getting those takeaways from the audience would be helpful.
All right, folks, do us a favor. Help Cody, help I make this event impactful and positive for your kids. Yes, we are doing this for your kids. So let us know in the comments what you would hope to have addressed, answered, questions, requests, anything you want. Again, we got 5 months to put this together. We know lots of people. So if you have some suggestions, maybe we can pull some stuff together. Cody, thank you again for saying yes. I am so happy to put this on your plate, because I simply couldn't make it happen without you.
We'll be there. Very excited.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, buddy. Take care.